All right, guys. So our next guest are two brothers, 20 years old, 25-year old. They go by Nick and Phillip. Okay. They are from Poland and they currently live in the suburbs of Detroit, Michigan. Fellas, welcome to the live. How are you guys doing today?
I'm very well. How are you?
Dude, excited for you guys to be here. Okay. Now, when I talk about rock stars, oh my God. Guys, I want you guys to think back, okay, to the audience right now. Think about what you were doing in 20 when you were 20. Think about what you were doing in 25. Okay. Guys, oh, I wish I would have started when they're starting. Okay. So, guys, tell the audience who you guys are and what do you guys currently do for a living?
So I'm Nick. This is my brother Philip. I'm 25. He's only 20 years old. And go ahead, Philip.
Well, up until Christmas, we were managers at a car dealership where we specialize in subprime financing. So, for those of you who don't know, subprime is people with challenged credit. And while Nick did the financing, I took care of all the sales.
Fire,
So
fire. I love that, guys. I mean, dynamic duo. You guys know your specialty and you're running it like a business. So that's what I'm talking about, boys. All right, guys. So what type of side hustles or businesses have you guys tried before?
Well, we've always enjoyed creating and building things. We tried e-commerce, supreme reselling. We had a homework service back when Nick was in college. We ran ads for multiple car dealerships and coaching programs. We even started our own business called Motor City Auto Finance, where we generated subprime leads and we sold the cars. And we even dabbled in like the medical field where we were selling gastric balloons and we were running the ads and then selling the procedures.
I love
so we've,
that.
we've tried everything.
Literally everything, guys. True serial entrepreneurs. I love it. I love it, guys. So, Nick, what made you initially start investigating merchant services, brother?
So back in 2023, I was living in San Diego in California, and I was working with my friend. Shout out to Seven Figure Alex, but we
Alex. That's amazing.
were
I love
we
Alex.
yeah, we were working in the like business lobby downstairs of this big, beautiful apartment building. I think they used to call it like ketchup and mustard because one was
Mhm.
yellow and one was red, right?
Yep, yep.
Well, we were sitting one day, working in that little business lounge on launching his business, and he tells me like, yo Nick, my neighbor Paul Alex, he runs this program. It's called ATM Together, back then when you did the ATM business,
Mhm,
and he's actually launching this new program. Right now it's called CashSwipe, but before it was called Merchant Automation when
mhm.
it first launched.
Original OG name, man. I love it.
Yes. So I was like, "Oh, what's that? Tell me about that. How does that work?" And he explained to me that basically you um, put the little credit card terminals, the little credit card machines inside of small businesses, and then you make a residual profit off of it each month, right? And the first question I had, I was like, well, aren't there companies already doing that? Don't Isn't there like tons of people already doing that? And he explained to me, well, yes, but how Paul's program is different is they actually implement the cash discount program, which saves the business owner money each month. And when I found out about that, and I did my own little research, I went through your content and everything, and I understood the business model. I was like, man, Philip, this is the vehicle that is, going to get us to achieve financial freedom. Because, in my opinion, it's probably the closest thing out there to like true passive income, as close
Yeah,
to passive as it gets.
right.
And I wanted to, provide generational wealth for our family. So I'm like, this is it. This is what we're gonna get into, and that's how I heard about it at first, back in San Diego in 2023.
I love that. I love that. And Philip, like, do you guys have like come from like a family of entrepreneurs or anything like that?
Honestly, Paul, our family is made up of a lot of hard workers, a lot of blue collar workers. Our mom is was a teacher here in Poland, and now she's a physical therapist. Our dad is an electrician. So no, we don't come from a long line of entrepreneurs. We're the first one,
That's
first
good,
two.
man. Bloodline breakers. Bloodline breakers. I love it, boys. Nick, what would you say is do you guys have anyone like supporting your vision?
Yes. So I have to say our parents, right? Our mom
Mhm.
and dad have always been our rock and our number one support system in anything that we do. You know, before I moved to San Diego, I was pre-med. I wanted to be a plastic surgeon. So they supported me throughout all that. They supported me when I quit that to go into entrepreneurship. And now they're supporting, us in merchant services. They came to America from Poland to build something great. So like watching them from when they first came here, building everything from the ground up, it inspires like us to work hard because we have a great example of what it looks like to come from nothing. And like, we're not rich or anything, but like from to go from moving to a country where you don't know the language, you don't know anybody, you don't have anything, to the point where even we are now in a house, we all have cars, right? We have a puppy. Like it's just inspirational, and that's what really like inspired us to find a vehicle to get that passive income and generational wealth, so that we can make their sacrifice worth it.
I love that, man. I love that. Very humble dude. You guys are building your guys' version of the American dream. Love it. And Philip, what would you say? Like, I'm pretty sure you had some reserves and limiting beliefs about this, right? But what made you make the jump as well? Like, what made you agree with Nick and be like, all right, dude, let's do this?
Well, I understood that this business model is the best path to financial freedom and achieving the American dream, for our parents and ourselves.
Right.
But we took imperfect action, like you always say. We believe that we were made for greatness and that we were going to be able to figure it out and just be successful in merchant services.
So we went all in on it.
Yeah.
I love that. And you gotta go all in, man. You gotta make it happen, right? So
Exactly.
so
Exactly.
fellas, break down from your point of view, POV guys, okay, how your initial 3 months went with the business once you guys got started with us.
Well, first we set up our business, the LLC, the bank account, basically everything you need to be a legit business. We attended the live trainings. We went through all the course material and did the online research. We basically lived and breathed merchant services. After that, then we established our online presence. We did the Facebook, the Instagram, the TikTok. We created a website, made the Google My Business, created the business email, right?
Yeah, the professional email.
Yeah, and then we took imperfect action again and approached merchants, businesses that we normally went to. I remember our first one was a golf range, but overall, I would say the first 3 months were kind of slow because we were busy working at the car dealership. However, I feel like we set up our foundation by learning the business and then just diving into it. And because we learned the most by actually talking to the merchants and seeing what their needs are.
Yeah, so the first 3 months were really like setting everything up and just being a sponge and learning as much as we possibly could. That way, when we get into it and get into it as quickly as possible, we had some knowledge already, so that we sound like
Like
people with
experts in our field.
experts in our field when we talk to merchants.
Professional, right?
Yes,
You're not coming off like rookies. You're not coming off like you're green. You're not nervous. You're going in there like, hey, I'm gonna save you some money. Let's be some business partners, right? I
right,
love
right,
that.
right.
I love that. So we actually have somebody from the audience. We got Pedro saying he's from Metro Detroit. Hey, you got another CashSwipe client right there, man. You guys need a link. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So Pedro, make sure to shoot him a DM, or Nick, vice versa. Shoot a DM, connect, guys. That's what it's about. Your network is your net worth. Okay. So why? And I want you guys to break it down to the audience. Okay. Just think about it like this. Think about like I am a merchant, but we're not going to go ahead and role play here. But Nick, I want you to break down why the cash discount program is the strategy that is the needle mover for us.
So in my opinion, and not even in my opinion, like any smart business owner, right? They want to eliminate all of the unnecessary costs of doing business in order to increase the bottom line and keep, as much of their hard-earned money as possible, right? At the end of the day, a business is not about what you make, but what you keep at the end of the
Mhm.
day, right? I've had several kind of like mentors, like even the owner of the dealership, sit us down one time, tell us like, boys, saving on your taxes and everything, because it's not what you make, it's what you keep. So in my opinion, any smart business owner wants to keep as much of their money as possible. And I'll give you an example, a little story, right? We're in Poland right now for the holidays, to visit our family. And we went to a coffee shop today with our grandma, right? And she actually knows the owner of the coffee shop. She used to teach in the same school as her. So, we were sitting down having coffee with her, and she's like, talking to us, boys, how's life in America? What do you guys do there? And we told her we have our own company. We do merchant services. So basically, we install the credit card terminals inside of small businesses, just like your coffee shop. And what we really do differently is we help business owners save money with the cash discount program. And I explained what it is, that you have a cash price and a card price, and you get a discount if you pay with cash. And when I said that, her eyes lit up like I've never seen before. She's like, "This is what I've been talking about, right? All these years I've been thinking we need something like that." So it just goes to show that no matter if it's in America, all over the world, any smart business owner, they want to save money and increase their bottom line, because she explained, she's like, in my opinion, the paying with a credit card is a convenience for the customer. And she's like, if they want to have that convenience, they should cover the cost herself, because for each customer, it's a small fee, but for her, those fees add up, to big amount at the end of the month. So she's
Yeah.
like, what you boys are doing is great. And yeah, that's why I think the cash discount program is really a big differentiator for our program and what moves that needle with the business owners.
I mean, it's huge. It's a no-brainer, dude.
Yeah,
Once you explain it like, hey, there's no law that says business owners have to pay credit card processing fees. And, to me, I'm just like, are you trying to build wealth now? Are you trying to get rich now? And I'm saying this to the merchants. And the merchant's like, you know what? You make a lot of sense, dude. Right. And then boom, that's it. You guys got to go ahead and share the vision. The
exactly.
vision is it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. So that's what we're pro for the business owners, guys. Okay. At the end of the day, whenever we get anyone, which barely happens, where they're like, am I gonna lose my customers? No, guys. People do business with people that they like. Okay. Business owners have been in business for 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20 years. They're not going to go bankrupt because people will understand if you have the sign, if you have the terminal, if you have some customer service, right? And you explain to them, hey, look, overhead expenses is getting out of control. Inflation, cost of doing business, people don't want to work anymore. It's hard to find employees. Something's got to give. So at the end of the day, we're doing this to keep the doors open and people will support that. Okay. All right. Awesome. So, in your guys' opinion, okay. Oh, well, actually, I think I skipped one. Okay. Philip, when did you guys have that miracle moment, that movie moment, guys, where you guys looked at each other? You guys are like, Nick, we're going to make it happen, bro. That you guys told yourself, I got this.
Well, it was once we signed up our first account, it became real. We knew that this was going to be the first of many, and that we finally found a business that was going to help us achieve the American dream.
And then when, of course, when the residual hit, it became even more real, because you're like,
Yeah.
I'm making money off of this, and I'm
Yeah.
going to be continuing to make money off of this every single month, basically while you're sleeping. So
The hard work will pay off.
Yeah. It's a snowball effect, man. What would you boys say that the toughest pain point for you guys were in this business that is now simple for you?
The toughest part was overcoming the anxiety of
Mm,
approaching people you don't know, trying to pitch them a financial service and just getting a no after no, or them just not wanting to talk to you, or having to deal with the gatekeeper. And but like my brother always tells me, every no gets you closer to a yes.
love that. Love that. And then we have a question from the audience, guys. Okay. So we're just going to pivot real quick, answer this question. All right. So we got Michael Garcia asking you guys, how do you convince a vendor to use a card reader if they are a cash only business? Boys, what do you have?
well, it's 2025, almost 2026 tomorrow, right? So basically everything right now is with card payments, digital. It's even moving into cryptocurrency, right? So if you're not accepting credit cards, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. And I think that's probably one of the easiest objections to overcome with a merchant is like, hey man, everyone now pays with their phone, not even with their credit cards, right? So having a credit card terminal in the side of a business is like basically a necessity in 2026 now.
Yeah. Philip, you got anything?
Honestly, Nick said it best.
Good, good. Guys, I mean, it's a no-brainer. You're leaving money on the table if you're not accepting credit cards, okay? Because it's a convenience, okay? So it's not hard to go ahead and convince a cash-only business. If anything, that's what we call low-hanging fruit. All
Mhm.
right. You find one, you're like, oh my God, why don't you have a credit card? Well, I don't have to pay money for it. I don't want to get charged fees. Dude, don't worry about that. I got you. Okay. Let me educate you real quick. All right, boys. If you guys could go ahead and say, in your opinion, what is the most important thing that merchants value now that you have experience in merchant services? What would you say?
So obviously the savings are great, right? Every merchant wants to save money. But what I think gets, people over that fence, merchants over that fence when, you're talking to them, pitching to them, is the local support and the relationship that we're able to provide them, right? Business owners, they are very busy people. They've got phone calls coming in,
Facts.
left and right, and the last thing they want to do is deal with problems with their credit card machines, right? When
Yep.
they, for example, if their funds are held up, the last thing they want to do is be running their business and then be stuck on hold on a 1-800 number talking to someone overseas that doesn't even know them, barely probably understands them. So the biggest thing for me that I think that merchants value is the fact that you're local, that if they have a problem, you show up within a few hours. You can solve any problem that they have for them without them having to, really do anything. And they really, I feel like they want a partner, someone who has their back and someone who wants to build a relationship for them and help them with their business and give them like, tips and tricks on how they can save money with their credit card processing.
And the best part is, over time, you build and develop a relationship with your merchant, and they value that.
Yeah, and that's how you get referrals too, by being tight with your merchant, and building that relationship over time.
I love that. And I'm glad that you guys dropped that little gem referrals, guys. Referrals is huge in not only business in general, but in merchant services. So we'll get into strategy in just here in the next couple minutes. But Philip, quick question. What are a couple things that changed about you guys personally? Okay. After starting and getting your first small win within merchant services, what would you say that would be?
Well, one of the first things that changed is my confidence in my sales ability.
Hmm.
I would say the second thing would be I got an abundance mentality.
Yeah,
Plenty of business owners
like
who
that
need.
blue ocean.
Yes, there are plenty of fish in the sea, right? There's plenty of business owners who need our help, and there's opportunities everywhere you look. And then I would also say I also started to understand that sales isn't just It's about helping people solve their problems and not just trying to push someone into something that they don't need.
I love that, man. I love that. Let's go back to strategy now. What's your guys' strategy? Let's say, because a lot of people are going to ask, and some people they're not scaling as fast as you guys. But what is your guys' next strategy to get your next 3 accounts?
One of the things is nurture our relationship with our current merchants, ask them for referrals, like Nick said, and just continue running meta ads, which is the most scalable and time saving.
Love that. Love that. And then what would be a piece of advice that you would give the viewers right now watching this live and then also the replay, that you can tell them now that you have some experience?
I would say commit and have laser focus. Don't bounce around between different business ideas, the drop shipping, the e-commerce. Just
Yeah.
trust me when I say this. Merchant services, this is the best one. This is the best business. And then just like you say, Paul, just take imperfect action and believe in yourself and know that you too can make this work.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I agree, man. It's one of the best opportunities out there right now, and it's still not discovered by the masses. Okay. So, last question before we start talking about and getting into specifics about meta ads. Okay. We're about to get technical here in a couple minutes, guys. But if someone is on the fence about joining a business like this, okay, what would you guys tell them now with your experience?
So based on our experience, I know this is gonna like sound cliche and like a lot of people may say this, but I wish that we would have discovered and joined it even sooner, right, than we did. Because if your goal, like if you really set your mind to it and your goal is to achieve financial freedom, meaning like you want to do things on your own terms. You don't want to answer to a boss at a 9 to 5. This is the best business model to achieve that, right? So, some people may say, but what if I fail? What if I invest all this money and it doesn't work out for me? You can still work, your 9 to 5, but like your worst case scenario is like basically everyone else's like reality and plan A. Like that's what they're gonna do anyway. So you don't have anything to lose.
Love that. Love that. And Philip, you got anything?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say that, I'll find the time to work on it. I say that anything important, you'll make the time for. You just got to make the time for it.
You gotta want it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You guys have to want it. All right, guys. Guys, if you guys are excited to learn about done for you meta ads now, these are the experts. Okay. So, as you guys know, the past couple months, we have been doing a beta run with Nick and Phillip, and they essentially were our guinea pigs, which is good because they know exactly what they're doing. So, with that being said, we're going to talk about the results. We're going to talk about the process, and this is your time. If you're watching this live right now or you're watching the replay, okay, you guys can go ahead and drop questions, and I will pick the questions and answer them with Nick and Phillip live. Okay, guys. So go ahead and drop right now if you guys are watching this live. Okay, go ahead and drop the word ads. That's going to be ADS. ADS. Go ahead and drop ads down in the comments below, guys. Go ahead. Let's support Nick and Phillip. They are doing a phenomenal job. Great job, boys. Okay, let's get to it. So, first question. What is your guys' current experience with Facebook ads? Tell us your history.
So it all started back at the car dealership. So before we were the managers of the car dealership, right? I was 19 years old. Philip was 14. I was just a normal salesperson selling cars, and Philip was the porter, right? He would be the one cleaning and detailing the cars for when I sold them.
Hustler,
So
hustler. Love it.
yes. So, I came to a realization, for those of you that don't know, at a dealership, you know, most of the time it works on an up system. So if someone walks into the dealership, the first person goes and greets that customer. And then the second customer walks into the dealership, the second salesperson that got there that day goes and greets that customer and gets to work with them for the potential sale. Well, there'd be some days where you would get maybe one or two people coming into the dealership off of cold traffic, sometimes even none, right? So that's when I knew that I had to figure out a way to generate my own leads so I could have a consistent, flow of leads and that my sales could be predictable. So I did a little research. I went on YouTube. I discovered, Russell Brunson and funnels. And that's when we started Motor City Auto Finance. We made a website, we started running ads, and we started getting leads for subprime customers on a consistent basis. And it quickly became number one salesperson at that dealership out of like 5 locations. And I was competing, I was only 19. I was competing against 40, 50, 60-year-olds that had been in the game for like 20, 30 years selling cars. And the way I did it was because I had my own leads and I had a consistent flow of them. And that's when everything became really predictable.
Wow, that's amazing, man. And then Philip, you saw everything. You were just
Yeah.
like, "Whoa, this is crazy."
I experienced all of it, and that's why when I started to do the sales, I mean, I had the guru to teach
Yeah.
me. I'm the guy who beat all the sharks, all the whales of the car industry, the ones that were, like you said, in 30 years in the business, he just wiped them out of the park.
Did you ever guys get like any of the gentlemen that have been in the game for that long asking you guys what's the secret?
Well,
Sometimes they would ask,
they would observe and they see what I did, but they wouldn't like
get up and
they wouldn't have the energy maybe or like the willingness to do that. They were stuck in their old ways, They didn't
Mm,
know about the internet and the online game. They thought
yeah.
it was all a BS for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
And they thought they could just do stuff their old way.
Yeah.
And everybody now with like people like Andy Elliott and all these other car gurus are finding out that online is the place to be if you want, consistent traffic and consistent leads.
Absolutely, guys. And you got to adjust. You got to adjust in every industry, guys, which is why, as you guys saw the past couple months, for all our viewers right now, we are not pivoting 100%, but we are providing another method to deliver actual merchants to your doorstep. Okay, guys. And this is exactly what we're talking about. All right. We're talking about the meta ads now. So, what success have you had in the past with running Facebook ads with, let's say, prior clients or companies before merchant services? And what type of results were you guys seeing?
Yeah. So the first client I'm gonna say is like our company, Motor City Auto Finance, and the group of used car dealerships that we partnered with. Um, and that was in the subprime auto sales niche, right? We worked in that niche from November 2019 to November of 2025.
Mhm.
So in that setup, the owner would basically give us $2,000 a month, which is $24,000 a year to invest into meta ads, right? So he trusted us to give us the money and then to generate the leads. So with that money, we would on average generate him, the owner, 800,000 to 1.2 million of gross profit a year, and that
Wow.
was selling used cars, right? And that wasn't just us two selling it. We would have a team of people, of appointment setters and salespeople helping us out do that, which that generated a 33x to 50x return on the ad spend. Then, so that was the car industry. Our second client that we have that has been very successful is Seven Figure Alex
Mhm.
uh, from San Diego, California. He's in the coaching slash high ticket sales niche.
Mhm.
So what he does is he teaches other people how to start their own credit repair and funding business.
Mhm.
So I've worked with Alex on running his ads since April 2023
Mhm.
to present time. We're still working with him. He's invested 175,000 into Meta ads, and
Mhm.
he's generated 1.4 million dollars in gross profit since I started working with him,
Mhm.
and that comes out to be a 8x return on ad spent. And then another noteworthy client is also from Tijuana, Mexico slash San Diego, California. This would be the medical weight loss niche.
It's
So it was,
huge right now.
yes, especially what they did was unique because it was non-invasive. So they were gastroenterologists, and we were marketing a gastro balloon that would help people lose weight without any invasive surgery or long-term effects. So we started working with them in March of 2023 up until October of 2023. So about 8 months. They invested $10,000 into ads, and they generated around $62,000 in gross profit, which brought them a 6.2x return on their ad spend. So
Wow.
I'm I'm pretty happy that a lot of the long-term clients that we have worked with have always been profitable.
Yeah, yeah, and the numbers you guys are talking about, it's no small potatoes, you know? I always say you're doing well with ads when you guys and essentially for all my newbies or people that are agreeing with Facebook ads, essentially if you put a dollar in and you get $4, that's in marketing jargon, ROAS, so return on ad spend. Okay, guys, so you guys know, right? So you guys have clarity on this. So whenever you put a dollar in to run ads and you guys get more than $4 back, that's fire. That's good. Okay. But these guys, they were doing crazy numbers, right? What was the craziest ROAS you've seen?
Probably with the car dealership, because
And what was the number?
I think it was like 33, which
33
is
ROAS?
yeah, because like
Yes.
seven figure was 8x, and then
Mhm,
the medical weight loss clinic was 6.2. Those are a little bit higher ticket, I like to say, uh,
mhm.
rather than the cars.
So
'Cause there's a
guys,
lot
if you get go ahead.
I was just gonna say there's a lot of people that with bad credit that need a car.
Mhm,
So
mhm. It's a big niche, man. It's a big
yeah.
niche. You know, people need help with credit repair and all that jazz. Guys, and just to break it down for you once again to simplify it, you know, you put a dollar in, imagine getting $33 back. You're gonna want to put everything in there, right? So at the end of the day, that's exactly what these guys are doing. These guys are optimizing ads to get the most on return on ad spend, ROAS. Okay. Hope you guys learned something new. All right, guys. So let's talk about what makes your guys' strategy for meta ads within merchant services so effective.
So what makes our strategy work so well
Mhm.
is that we run the ads, they're hyper local campaigns. So in the ads, we call out business owners by location. So for example, if I'm from Detroit, I'm going to say, Metro Detroit business owners, which this instantly filters out like junk leads and attract, business owners who operate in your specific area. So this drives higher intent and a lower cost per lead. So that's number one, is running them in a hyper local area, right? Number two is we've learned that you need to lead with a face to the camera authority type ads
Mhm.
instead of like these basic general stock ads that maybe some of these big national processing companies use. They have millions and billions of dollars to invest in Facebook ads, right? So showing the actual operator, the agent, that's running the business, dramatically increases the response rates, and it helps a lot with building trust, right? People buy from people, not just from like big companies. So face to the camera really helps build trust and make the booked calls, response rates and show up rates a lot easier and better, right? And another thing is we don't sell like processing in the ad, right? We try to sell curiosity. It
Mm.
makes so we want to make them, the only point of an ad is to get someone interested, right? You're not going to sell someone on a 30-second ad. That's what the sales call is for, right? So we lead with curiosity and relevance, and then we close them on the call. So this keeps Meta happy, and then it keeps the cost per lead low and conversions high. And because merchant services is such a trust-based, business, our ads are designed to like pre-qualify everyone, pre-frame the prospect before we even talk to them, before they even hop on the call with us. So this all results in, higher quality leads, shorter sales cycles. So you don't have to keep, like, following up is key, but this all helps the follow up be shorter, and it helps on a better return on investment.
I love that. I love that. That all makes sense, guys. So, for our audience right now watching this, if you guys are still writing with us live, awesome. So, who here in the audience will love to actually learn how to run their own Facebook ads? So, you guys are able to take advantage of getting your own leads, just like Nick and Phillip. Go ahead and comment the word me. Comment the word me, guys, if you guys want to learn how to go ahead and run your own Facebook ads. So you guys could do what Nick and Phillip are doing. Okay. All right, cool. Now we have some interests. So we're going to do a mini masterclass right now. All right. Sorry to put you guys on the spot. So go ahead, Nick. What would you tell someone who is trying to learn how to do Facebook ads? Any recommendations on books or YouTube videos that our audience right now can actually start researching to learn how to do this themselves?
Yeah. So when I first started learning Facebook ads, it was from a friend of mine that taught me about landing pages, funnels, and actually introduced me to like ClickFunnels and Go High Level. Right. That was the beginning of like my digital marketing journey. So people I'd say that you can watch on YouTube would be like Russell Brunson, Alex Hermosi. Those would be my top two that have killed it for a long time, and they've proven that their methods work. So those are the two I would watch. But other than that, I can't really point to like any one specific person, just because meta ads, it changes basically on a daily basis. It changes so fast. So I just recommend going on YouTube, typing in those two people that I mentioned, and then just looking up other YouTube videos on how to run ads, and just like we're a sponge and just learned everything we possibly could about merchant services. If you want to run Facebook ads, that's what I recommend you do. We live in an era where you have ChatGPT now and Google Gemini to help you out with that as well. So that's another resource I would point you to. Another thing I could recommend is Meta actually has their own online training platform that maybe we can share the link with people. But
Just did, guys. Just dropped it down in the comments below. Go ahead and take advantage. Copy and paste that to your guys' notes. You guys can thank Nick and Phillip later, but they provided us with a link. Link is in the comments right now.
yeah, so Meta makes money off of you spending ads. So they want to teach you how to do it as well, which is why they provide this like training platform. And other than that, I learned through like trial and error and just working with people. And over the years, it's, developed to what it is. And I'm still learning. Like I said, Meta ads changes every single day. It's not something you can just like forget about. You have to constantly,
Adapt and be a chameleon.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but
and educate yourself constantly.
Makes sense, man. I love it. I love it. And guys, once again, we dropped that link in the comments. So if you guys want to learn how to run your own Facebook ads, start getting some beginner friendly information, we just dropped it in the comments below. And then also, I'm going to drop it in the description if you're watching the replay right now. All right, let's talk about some numbers, guys. So you guys did a beta run. Okay. Phillip, let's talk about your guys' results. What were they after your 30-day beta test? Let's talk about that.
well, we ran the beta test from October 1st to October 31st. We spent $1,850 and like 62 cents. We generated 54 leads, and out of those 54 leads, we closed 5 accounts, and the cost per lead was like $34.27. And so averaging out the cost per deal closed around $370.12. So
That's what I'm talking about, man. Those are some fire results, guys.
You could make that $370 back your first month of residual. And then after
Easily.
that, everything is profit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a good month when you're able to close 5 deals, guys, right? So at the end of the day, guys, how many of you guys would love to go ahead and run your own ads and close 5 deals like they just did? Well, we're about to see a whole lot of testimonials coming up the next couple months, guys, because we are launching campaigns for multiple CashSwipe clients that are already in the actual phase and process of doing this for them. Okay. And Philip and Nick, they're helping them every step of the way. Okay, guys. All right, boys. So we're running out of time here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just skip a couple of the questions here, but I am going to go to the most impactful one that the audience is going to like. Okay. So I am going to skip number 6. Let's go into number 7. What was the hardest portion for you initially after you received a lead and you wanted to close them?
So I'd have to say that the hardest part, because going door to door, obviously you're in front of the merchant. But the hardest part was figuring out if I should close the person on the phone, over text, or if I should like schedule an in-person meeting to meet with the person first, the merchant, right? So I discovered that although all the leads were interested, I had to kind of read each merchant differently and listen to them to see how ready they were, how hot they were to move forward. So some merchants were ready to close after my initial phone call with them. Other merchants, I would set up an appointment with them over the phone and then go close them in person. And some people I could even close over text because, for example, maybe they didn't speak English, they spoke Spanish. I didn't let that stop me. I would, chat GPT. I know a little bit of Spanish, but I'm not that fluent. So I use chat GPT to help me out, make sure that it sounds conversational Spanish, not like Google Translate.
I love that.
And another thing I have to say, it's important to know when to send them that merchant application, right?
Mhm.
And you have to wait for that right moment because you don't want to delay it too much. If they're hot, excited on the call, all you have to say is, all right, well, the next step is I'm going to send you a merchant application. Takes 2 minutes to fill it out. You just have to upload your voided check and a photo of your ID. And as soon as you're done with that, send me a text message. Let me know if you have any questions, right? That's if they're super hot and ready. If you can feel that they're not super comfortable with you, I wouldn't push the application on them right there and then. I'd keep it super low pressure. I'd be like, all right, Mr. Merchant, sounds like, we're going to enjoy working together. Why don't we set up a meeting? That way I can answer a few more of your questions in person. I can take a look at your setup. And then I would go in person and close them. So it's finding that right balance of not being too pushy and reading each merchant, right? And another thing I have to say is important is the speed to lead, right? So people are looking on Facebook, they see a ton of ads, ton of content every single day on Facebook and Instagram, right? So as soon as you get that lead, contacting that lead within a timely manner, 5 to 10 minutes is very important so they remember who you are because you can't take it personally. These people are, they're busy. They're not ignoring you, but it's important to stay on top of their mind. Follow up with them is very important too. That way they remember who you are and they'll be like, oh yeah, I clicked on your video. You and your brother were in front of that smoke shop. So it's that type of thing to be constantly on their mind and to get to them pretty quickly. And another thing we discovered when we were doing this is that you have to kind of act like a consultant or a doctor, right? So you're not selling them anything. You want to ask the merchants questions to figure out their pain points to see if number one, you can even help them, but then to offer them a solution or the right diagnosis, right? Back to like the doctor example, based on what they said that their pain points are. Cause like we both agree on this. We've had conversations like the days of like someone hard selling someone over the phone or just being like a typical, sleazy salesman, those days are over. Like you have to act like a consultant rather than a pushy salesperson.
Absolutely. No lies told, man. I love that. And thanks for the detailed breakdown. People are loving it, guys. Okay. So guys, because we're running out of time here, we're an hour and a half in. And I know a lot of people they're like, hey dude, it's past my bedtime. What's up? We're gonna just speed ahead to the last question, guys. Okay. So what would you guys tell the viewers watching right now that are on the fence with using Facebook ads?
So I'm gonna be completely honest, right?
Mhm.
So Facebook ads, they're not magic,
Mhm.
okay? They won't fix a bad follow-up or a weak sales skills or a broken process, right? So if you're on the fence, I'm gonna say that you're already paying anyway. Just you're not paying Facebook, you're paying in time, you're paying in missed opportunities, and you're paying in inconsistent deal flow, right? You're paying and wasting your time going door to door, well, when you could be trying to close deals, right? So ads, they won't replace skill, they multiply it, right? So if you can't close, they will expose that gap very, very quickly, right? But if you can close, which we have a fantastic program at CashSwipe that teaches you basically everything you need to know to become a monster in sales. Um, the ads become leverage, right? They put you in front of high intent local leads consistently. They help build your brand. They help you dominate your local market, right? That's thing. I think that is huge because you're not only getting leads now, you're building your brand so people know about you, and they basically eliminate the need of going door to door and chasing people. So, like if you already know how to sell, you're confident, you have like one or two deals under your belt, you know what questions everybody's going to ask, and you want a predictable flow of leads and you want to close deals consistently, that's who the Facebook meta ads are for. You know, that's exactly what the Done For You program it was built for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And guys, what would you say is your ideal client? Because guys, if you guys have been listening to Philip and Nick, okay, they are the head honchos that are going to be guiding us through this done for you meta ads program, this meta ads process. Okay, so you guys are going to be able to work directly with Nick and Philip, which is pretty cool, right? Because they've done it. They've executed themselves. They've done the sales. Actually, right now, they're working on an additional sales program that's going to be included in the process, guys. So if you guys are already CashSwipe clients, if you guys are brand new to us and you guys are not part of CashSwipe yet, then oh my God, you guys are missing out. Okay. But with that being said, guys, boys, what would be your ideal client? Who's your ideal avatar that you guys want to work with? Is somebody who attention to detail, somebody who's charismatic on the phone? Like, do they have to know technology? What is your opinion?
Say our ideal client for like a cash swipe agent, right?
Yeah, cash swipe
Yeah.
agent that, let's say, wants to go ahead and take advantage of this done for you meta ads. Is this for everybody? Is it just for people that are good with social media? What would you guys say?
So I'd say it's someone who is confident, right? You're confident in your sales ability. You have maybe one or two deals under your belt. You know, you've talked to merchants. You know who, what questions they're going to ask, and that you don't have to be the best with technology, but knowing basic technology helps, right? But that's the part we help you out with, being it done for you. We're gonna help you navigate through Facebook, Meta, because it's difficult, right? But someone who believes in themselves and is gonna follow up with the leads and wants to make this a real thing and finds time for it, I would say.
Yeah, somebody who
Absolutely.
has the tenacity to kill it and just, has to have that little push over the edge.
That's it. And you guys heard it from the operators for the done for you meta ads, guys. So if you guys want to work with them, okay, go ahead and drop DFY. DFY. Now, it is the abbreviation for done for you, guys. Now, are we currently offering slots right now? No, we're not, guys. Actually, we're at capacity for this program. Now, if you guys want, we will be starting enrollments in January for ads. So if you guys are interested in using this process to guys start your merchant services business in January, we can put you guys on the wait list. So if you're interested in starting either your credit card processing business, your ATM business, you're interested in working with us, getting more information on how this business can actually work for you guys, and you guys want to run ads for your business as well. Okay. Let's schedule a call. It's going to be an informational call. So comment the word wait list. Comment the word wait list if you guys want to get put on the wait list, and we'll get you on a call. We'll provide you with all the information. And then once a slot opens, you guys will be the first one to actually get inserted as a client to work with Nick and Phillip, guys. Okay. They're phenomenal entrepreneurs. They know what they're doing. They're able to get you results, and it's a proven concept. Okay, guys. All right, boys. Any words of motivation for the audience before we go?
Just believe in yourself, because if you believe in yourself, like, anything is possible. Like, that sounds cliche, but it's the truth. Like you said, like, it's the mindset, right? If you don't do anything, then that's when you're going to feel that anxiety and like feel all down in yourself. You just got to believe in yourself, go out there and do it, because when you go out there and do it, you're going to gain experience and you're going to see, hey, I can do this, I'm capable of this. And that's when the magic is going to happen for you.
Just got to make the time, and we'll provide all the tools and resources for you to become successful.
Yes, and like we say, we tell everyone, we're gonna hold your hand every step of the way, because your success is our success too, right? We want you to sign up accounts, so we're gonna hold your hand every step of the way and answer all your questions, no matter how small or big they
Hold
are,
you accountable.
and hold you accountable too. That's number one.
That's a big accountability is huge. So it's good. It's good. I like it, boys. All right, guys. Well, that wraps it up. We had a phenomenal live here with Nick and Phillip. Thank you guys once again. Guys, go ahead, blow up the comments, blow up Nick, no, blow up Phillip down in the comments below. Show them some love, guys. They did a great job. This is their very first. Is this your guys' first live?
Yes.
Yeah, it's your first live. They did a great job interviewing, guys, and they're a wealth of knowledge. Make sure to hit them up inside of this community. Residual income for beginners, guys. They're also part of our CashSwipe clients only group, where you guys can message them as well. If you guys are part of the Detroit, Michigan area as well, and you're local, hey, hit them up, guys. Your network is your net worth. You guys can go ahead and feed off each other. Go ahead and scale businesses together. That's what it's about, guys. Okay. Kudos to you guys. Keep scaling in 2026, guys. And for you guys watching, okay, if you guys haven't gone ahead and taken advantage of any of the freebies during this live presentation, or you're possibly going ahead and watching the replay, in the description, we are going to drop the replay here in the community in the next couple minutes, right after we're done. And I'm going to drop the links to our funding free community, to our YouTube channel. And I'm also going to drop the handles of Nick and Phillip, and also Krista and Andrew, who we interviewed earlier, our power couple. Okay. So you guys are able to go ahead and speak to any of our speakers and pick their brains as well. With that being said, my name is Paul Alex. I'm founder of CashSwipe, guys. You guys have a great night. And if I don't talk to you by, what is it, tomorrow, have a happy new year. And I can't wait to crush it with absolutely all of you guys in 2026. Have a great night, guys. Bye bye.